Morning all. Before I kick off and start my day's work, idle curiosity got me looking on the internet last night, and I want to cast my mind back to when I was 16 years old and had to ride a 50cc motorbike. And I remember carefully selecting the one that could go the fastest out of all the 30 mile an hour restricted ones, and apparently the top speed of my BSA Brigand 50cc in restricted form was 38 miles an hour. I was lucky enough to get a kit to de-restrict it. How naughty was that? And after that, it certainly would... Well, I'm not going to come out with ridiculous figures. I know what I think it could do, but it could certainly get well north of 50 miles an hour, which made it quite a useful little tool to get around on as a 16-year-old. And in fact, the job I did at the time very occasionally meant that I'd have to travel from home to Blackwood in Gwent, and I lived in a little village called Cayo at the time, near Pimpsaint, and it was something like, it was over 90 miles round trip there and back, perhaps knocking on the door of 100. And I used to do it on that little 50cc bike in de-restricted form and go on the heads of the valley road and mix with all the traffic. And I didn't have to do it too often, perhaps once or twice a month. It managed it, and it was great fun, not a problem, no stress at all. But this 30 mile an hour business, I was just curious, and I didn't even know, and I googled and checked, and yep, sure enough, it still stands for 16-year-olds on motorbikes, 50cc, and would you believe, 28 miles an hour. 28! There's people in Lycra going faster than that on bicycles, for God's sakes. And the point of this is it's such a slow speed, it's dangerous, and you've even got these electric bikes and electric scooters and people on pavements and everything clowning around on those things. What harm is a 16-year-old going to do that wants to ride a motorbike and get around independently? What harm can they possibly do if the thing can do about 50 miles an hour or so? And to back this up, this is the point I'm coming to. Obviously, I live in a very rural area, and we got lots of farms and lots of farmers and lots of farm machinery, and of course tractors about the place. Now, some of these tractors, they can see the other side of 40 miles an hour, and you know what they're driven by in many cases? 16-year-olds. Now, apparently there is a test that a 16-year-old is supposed to do in order to be able to drive a tractor. Now, I don't know what that involves. I never did one. My car driving licence allows me to drive a tractor, or it did. But let's assume your 16-year-old goes out, passes their test for the tractor, and then he can go thundering along. Oh, incidentally, the tractor must not exceed 2.45 metres in width. Well, I'll tell you what, that is a whisker over 8 foot. I think that's a pretty big bloody tractor. So anyway, your 16-year-old can go out, pass their test, and then drive this tractor. But not only can they drive the tractor, they can tow a trailer with up to the same width as a tractor, the 2.45 metres or just over 8 foot wide. Now, hang on a minute. Are you trying to tell me that the kid on the 28 miles an hour 50cc bike can possibly, in any way, shape or form, be as dangerous as, let's say, the same kid in his, what should we say, 4-5 ton tractor with a trailer on it that can do north of 40 miles an hour, bouncing around? And I'll tell you another thing, and I've seen it. I've seen these youngsters driving the tractors, and guess what? Oh, they got their mobile phones in their hands and things like that. Well, your 16-year-old on the motorbike isn't going to be able to piss about with a mobile phone, because they'll be holding the handlebars like this and concentrating and probably crapping themselves, because everything else can go much faster than them, is getting impatient with them and could cause a fatality. But never mind, that's the way governments work and rules work. What a load of nonsense. Someone wants to wake up and realise that if we're going to encourage, but we don't want to encourage youngsters to ride motorbikes, do we? No, motorbikes are a dirty word. Transport infrastructure, use public transport, get vehicles off the road. It doesn't matter that a 50cc bike is very, very fuel efficient and doesn't cost much to run, is small, doesn't take up much space, doesn't put much wear and tear on the road. But no, let's not encourage people to use motorbikes in any way, shape or form. Much better if they use a tractor and go around squashing all sorts of kids on 50cc bikes as they catch them up and close in on them on corners. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. I don't know how on earth we ended up in a situation like that. Fair dues, 16-year-olds want to drive tractors and do it for earning a living and whatever, that's fine. But if that is the way it is with the tractors, come on, whoever it takes, wake up and let them go faster on a 50cc bike, for God's sakes. Please, wake up. Rant over.